Electric Cafe.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Electric Cafe. In this video, I wanted to review Midnight Oil's fifth album called Red Sails in the Sunset, which came out in 1985. This is the third time they've been featured on my channel. I'm kind of jumping around in Midnight Oil particular albums, going in particular no order. I started with Blue Sky Mining. I gave that a 72 out of 100, and then I went back to one of their earlier ones, their third album from 1981 called Place Without a Post. I gave that one a 58. I thought it was on the high side of a pretty good album. And then, jumping around a little bit more, going to Red Sails in the Sunset. I'm actually redoing this video. Sometimes if you see on my videos, I do quick review post or a quick review score, and that's just me playing the music, and then you see my scores on the songs and on the album. And the reason why I do that is, A, I want to share more music on here. Sometimes I don't have a lot to say about the band or that particular album, but I still want to document it to score it and the songs. My ultimate goal in doing these review channels is not only to share lesser known music and document my life with music, but also I want to get to the point where I have lists of like top 40 Midnight Oil songs, or ranking my top favorite Midnight Oil albums or things like that. So that's my ultimate goal, is to do those things. So that's why I'm reviewing the albums. In the meantime, scoring them and things like that. I could easily just go to Depeche Mode or something like that and just rank their albums. And sometimes if I really know the band, I'll do that here along the way, but I still want to review the albums as I go and review the songs as well, so I can put those into my lists and have these really nice lists that I want to do. Maybe I'll do my top 40 favorite Australian songs or something like that. So I top 10 Australian rock band influences. So there's things like that I'd like to do along the way, but more towards the end. And the first step is that ranking songs and rating albums. So unfortunately, like for this one, I couldn't necessarily play the album. It got blocked after a week, and then so I needed to redo it. So this will be a fairly quick review, but I just wanted to give you a little bit of backstory on why I do those videos, and then why I may have to redo them if they get blocked. So yeah, again, this is their fifth album, 1984. They're really coming into their own on this particular album. Like, there's definitely some songs on here that feel like an extension of Blue Sky Mining or Diesel and Dust. So it is kind of in that period of 1983, I felt like, where they really kind of found their sound, or 1982, somewhere around there, like their fourth album, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, which is called. And really they found their sound, I felt like, in that particular album. And then this is kind of a continuation to that. There's 12 tracks on here. One's an interlude, so I didn't really necessarily, I didn't review that one. It's called Baker Man. But other than that, I rated the other 11 tracks. The album kicks off with one of my favorite early Midnight Oil songs of all time, When the Generals Talk. It does remind me a lot of Oingo Boingo in the early 80s. Oingo Boingo kind of had this sound, kind of like, kind of punky, but also a lot of fun, and it's danceable. That's one thing about a lot of Midnight Oil albums or songs. A lot of people don't realize that Midnight Oil is very a danceable rock band, alternative band. And certainly a couple on here are definitely danceable. When the Generals Talk, yeah, great groove, bass line, chorus is excellent. Again, it's one of my favorite early Midnight Oil tracks, as far as the more upbeat ones, or more of the ones that could have been singles. I don't think this one was a single, I can't remember, but I gave this one 8 out of 10 stars. Really good stuff. Best of the Both Worlds, one of their early good songs as well, one of their best songs from their early period. I give that one 7.5 stars. Again, very danceable. Has a slight punk edge to it, cool riffs, really good stuff. 7.5 stars. And then another really good track, track number 3, called Sleep. Slow groove, a little bit like what would sort of turn into like Dead Heart or something like that. This kind of has that classic kind of slower Midnight Oil groove. You can definitely see like Beds Are Burning a little bit here, that in some of these bass lines and some of the pacing and some of the rhythms. Sleep is really good too. I give 7.25 stars out of 10. And then Minute to Minute, pretty good song, 6 stars. Jimmy Sharman's Boxers. I like the guitars. Good pacing on this one. 6 3/4 stars. And then Who Can Stand in the Way? 7 stars. Really like this one. Good groove. The melody is nice with the chimes, and the last verse is really good. My favorite. Really kind of a triumphant song in a lot of ways. And I've never heard this one particularly live, but I do this. If sometimes when I revisit albums that I haven't heard in a few years, and a song that I know I like, it kind of comes out a little bit more, and kind of, because you already feel an album when you go back and you hear an album like this, and so but it's always great when a new song kind of sticks out in a different way, and this was the one going through it that kind of sticks out. So I'm going to look online and see if I can see a live version of Who Can Stand in the Way. I've never heard that song live, but going through this album kind of reminded me how much I like it, and it came out in a new way, and I like it even more now. But I gave that one 7 stars. Kuziko, I believe it's pronounced. Solid. 6 1/4 stars. Helps Me, Helps You. That's my least favorite song on this album. It's kind of I don't know. It kind of feels like a little bit. Just doesn't have the depth that I generally look for. It doesn't have the kind of riffs. It's not as catchy. It's not necessarily a ballad or anything like that. It just kind of. It's just okay. I give it 4.5 stars. Harrisburg, I like a little bit better, 5.5 stars. The bells and the horns in the back of the Beyond, that one's a little bit better too, 6 stars. But a little bit of a rough pocket in there, not on the higher ranked songs in that particular. 8 through 10 are probably my 3 least favorite songs. But then it ends on a strong note. Track number 11, one of the most underrated tracks, I think. Shipyards of New Zealand. 7 1/4 stars. Love this track. The ballad's are really nice. The violins. Love the way it ends. Great, great trajectory that song has. I love the arc of the song, and some of I think Midnight Oil is probably one of their most underrated parts about them is they can really write some really good ballads. Like they have kind of a really good sing along feel in a lot of their ballads, and they're certainly meaningful lyrics. Talk about the trouble's ill. I mean, the world's ills and nuclear waste and government and making bad business deals and stuff like that. He always kind of has like a. I mean, obviously, Mr. Garrett, the singer, he's a obviously he knows his way around like the business side of government and things like that. So he talks about that a lot, and he's really in tune with that. So when he's actually sings about something and talks about something and brings it up, you definitely want to listen. Really strong album, right in the middle of good and very good album. Comes up to 72 stars, divided by 11 songs. Again, there was a short interlude in there called Baker Man that I didn't really score. It's only like 30 or maybe 50 seconds, somewhere around there. But it comes up to a 65.4 in my rating, so I round that down to a 65. So right in the middle of a good and a very good album. I think it's a consistent album. Just a couple, not even necessarily really any lows on this album. Just some songs that are okay. If you took out 1 or 2 tracks and you left it as like 9 or 10 songs, like you would even have a more impactful album and more straight to the point. But sometimes you can't argue with more music from a band, but sometimes it could be lesser. Just is what it is. But 65 out of 100, really good album. I love Midnight Oil. I saw them on their last tour, their going away tour. Got their DVD a couple years ago. Really good. I definitely wanted. While I do this video, I don't necessarily have this album, so I couldn't put it over here. But I wanted to put up their DVD, Armistice Day. If you want a good DVD that goes through their long career and a lot of great music, very energetic live band, great fans in this video. It's filmed in Sydney, in their home country. So it's a great video. If you that's the great thing about greatest hits videos. I'm not or greatest hits albums. I'm not necessarily a fan of greatest hits albums, but sometimes when you can get that on a DVD and then you can watch them live, you just if you don't know a lot about like a band, or if you like a little bit of Midnight Oil and you want to get to know them, I mean, you can buy a $5 greatest hits DVD, or you could buy or a greatest hits album, or you could buy something like this, spend a little bit more money and see them live and see because you know or you've heard that they're a good live band and you buy something like this. It'll make you a fan more than buying a greatest hits. I feel like so don't necessarily. I would say if you're not into Midnight Oil and you want to check out something, definitely check out any of their live DVDs or live performances in the last probably their whole career. But if you want to get a good scope of their albums, and their history because they've been around for almost 50 years. Well, I guess they aren't around anymore. But even their last album, Resist, had some really good stuff on it. I can't wait to review that one as well. But that one was included on the live, the farewell concert that I went to. I think it was 2022. So that was really good too as well. But I saw them in 2017, and I saw them in the 90s as well. But not at all. Red Sails in the Sunset, awesome album. 65 out of 100.
Electric